Which science, by definition, allows for more than one opinion. Otherwise, you merely have the will of one man, which is the basis of cult.
If it's not in frame, it doesn't exist.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
Where you been?
Drunk.
Wendy, darling, light of my life.
What is your one purpose in life?
To explode, of course.
I like death with sex. How about you, Casey? You like sex with death?
Yeah, so fuck off and die.
Start talking about them flippity fish, dude.
Flippity fish. It was quite flippy and floppy and foamy and slappy. Yeah, all right, we're getting right. We're bursting at the seams to talk about this movie apparently because earlier we had to pause.
I'm under pressure. My oxygen tank is running out.
I'm imploding as we speak. So this is the Cult of Cinema Knowledge podcast. Jordan over there, Leviathan here.
Yeah, Leviathan. Oh my God, Leviathan, dude. And I'm scuba certified JH over here, man.
You're not actually, are you?
No, no, I'm not.
Well,
but I would be for the right price.
Chet was. That's why I was like, remember when he was obsessed with scuba? Anyway,
I wouldn't be allowed. I would not be allowed to be in scuba. I'd be too scared.
Dude,
I don't want to
You won't sink, you know.
Yeah, like it's funny. Like I feel like flying in an airplane, I'd get into a Boeing airplane at this point right now. I don't give a fuck. I'd be in any side. I'd go into any airplane ever made.
Like
I don't care.
Submarine
but
is
like
your
the
worst
second,
nightmare.
but the second I'm even scuba diving, it's just like snorkeling. I'm like, if I have to be in the fucking depths of the terrifying alien ocean, dude, I'm never going into the ocean.
So that's why. That is why we picked this month is for Jordan's fear of the ocean, and which, to be fair,
I got it.
That is a. I mean, obviously you got it worse, but it's like that is a very primordial fear. I don't know, like the ocean, like it does. It's like it's terrifying to realize how vast.
We didn't try to like learn about the depths of the ocean until like 50 years ago. Like we just stayed on top where God wanted us to be on top of the water.
And anyway, so. Yeah, we know nothing. That's why there's quite a few mysteries at the bottom of the ocean type movies.
Made about...
Well, that too, but I mean, like, you know, like this. So obviously, we're talking about Leviathan.
The documentary we were watching today.
The documentary. I'm like, Leviathan is one of many underwater horror / thriller / mysteries that came out in like a fucking 5-year time span, and.
Yeah, this was really a popular like, and I think like, it's funny because we always say like Alien kind of kicked off like space movies, but Alien pretty much started like all of these kind of movies, like, and then The Abyss is what truly is the true like, you know, step piece.
Yeah,
for, like,
we're gonna bring up Alien again later because this movie's got a lot of alien DNA, but yeah, man, I don't know what it is, but Alien. It's because Alien is the grandfather of sci-fi horror. So it's like any sci-fi horror owes something to Alien, I think, probably. Anyway, Leviathan.
I agree.
Synopsis? Did we? We need to get. We're gonna get back in a rhythm. I swear. We're still thrown from Mary doing the podcast.
I know, right. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know if I kind of like just riffing, man.
Riffing's fun as long as we put a time limit on it. I think is what we got to do.
Exactly. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think we'll get good at riffing, but
that is true. We should hone it.
Do you know what's great is so everybody out in podcast land, if you go to r/Cult of Cinema Knowledge, you go to our subreddit, you will be able to watch a video I posted, and they like mention it, and there's like a guy that's like Leviathan.
I was like, get the fuck out of here, Leviathan. Yeah. Well, they say it in the movie, like 2 characters say, it's Leviathan, and I'm like, but everyone else calls it Leviathan. But yeah, 2 characters in the movie do say it too.
Was it the doctor? Maybe it's like he's translating the Russian? And
yeah, it's one of the girls and someone else.
I mean, it's fine. It can be pronounced.
I was annoyed,
but it just definitely
always.
Like Leviathan.
The only reason, I'd never seen this movie, but I remember my dad rented it in the 90s and was watching it, and I remember it was underwater, and I remember that. But the only reason I even remember it is because I'm like, as a kid, I was like, oh, that's my name in there, you know? Yeah. Which, you know, other than jeans, you don't fucking see it that often. And so like Leviathan or Leviticus are always my RPG character names, and so it's like that's why I had to pick Leviathan this month.
Leviathan's so sick. I'm glad it got picked.
I'm glad it did too, man.
I wanted to see it forever.
All right, let's talk about that because this
well,
movie's
real quick, though,
is a
what
thing.
what dad? Was it oil rig dad? Because
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
that's exactly
Yeah.
who I.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It was the whole time I was watching this. I'm like, it has to be him.
It was.
I was like, yeah.
And it's him,
'Cause it's like
him
they're-
with a
yeah, they're
can,
minor.
him with a fucking giant lip full of Copenhagen and an empty Pepsi can, watching Leviathan. Like, it's,
Oh yes, dude. Hell yeah. No, I can picture that.
yeah.
But all right, yeah. Do you want to tell the fine folks, or you want me to do it? You did it last time.
Yeah. Why don't you do it, Mister? You're living at the bottom of the sea. You got the
got
blood pressure up to.
I've been reading The Deep and have been horrified
so
of
good.
sea labs.
Dude, sea labs are too cool.
Terrified of sea
honestly,
labs.
though.
I do love them. But all right, so this movie is called Leviathan. It's from 1989. It's by George P. Cosmatos. It takes place
The dad of what's his face?
the
The directed Mandy.
That-
and
Oh, is it? It is.
it
right,
is because I recognize that name
did-
and I had to look it up.
You know
and-
why? It's because he did fucking. We watched one of his movies recently. Or no.
Yeah,
we didn't watch
Tombstone.
one of his movies.
Right?
Yeah, Tombstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did Tombstone.
Yeah.
And that's the connection. My mind was blown when I was like, oh my god, duh, he's Tombstone. Go listen to that podcast.
Yeah.
And it's like such a weird. I love his filmography. It's great.
It's odd.
So, anyways,
It's odd.
it's really odd. It's really wild, but I love it. And
This
so
is why we have to have a written synopsis. It's like we're too just easily distracted.
Well,
Anyway,
yeah, right.
we haven't even got to
We
the
get caught up on
synopsis.
that.
You were reading the titles. Anyway, go on.
I know. The synopsis it's takes place in the near future in a really deep underwater sea lab where these miners are all working, and it's like a small like
Not
six-man-
children, miners that mine
no
for
silver. They're mining for silver ore, which is kind of cool. And one of the quote unquote captain, he's a geologist, and he's working down there with them. And it opens up with like them finishing a day's work, coming back, and then there's now I'm really screwing up because now I only watched this like a day ago.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's coming back, and there's turmoil, and you kind of learn that like they don't really respect him, and there's a doctor on board, and the doctor isn't really like
He's got a history of like
not
subordinates and
supportive.
like
Yeah, right. He's
killed some people by
insubordination.
accident. So it's kind of like this is definitely like
Right.
not the
And
A
he-
team. They're just a bunch of fucking like white
Yeah.
collar workers or whatever.
right. And then so you learn
Blue collar.
like later that blue collar workers that the freaking the like main character, the captain Peter Wellers, he's talking with the suits, the people up top, broadside, who are like they're telling him like, oh yeah, you're gonna be finishing in like 3 days, you're gonna you're producing a lot, and they're like, oh yeah, this will ore itself, it's gonna be able to like basically just run itself, we can get our crew out of here. And so everyone's super excited to get out, and then you take it from here because I really don't remember what.
Yeah. Well, it's
how did
because it does take quite a minute for the inciting incident to happen because it's like they do the one guy from fucking Larry
that's
from
what it
Home
is.
Alone
Oh
gets
my
lost,
God.
and they find a sunken ship at the
That's
bottom
where
of
it
the
is.
ocean.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's in Russian and it's called the Leviathan. And they're like, weird. There's no recorded sunken ship here.
It's a very mysterious sunken ship too, because like there's a blast point on the ship and it was torpedoed, and so they're like, this is really odd. And then they find the old case files in one of like the records rooms.
Yeah,
and
they find a
everybody's
safe.
deceased.
Yeah, they find a safe
Yeah, they
with
find
all
a
that.
safe and it's got the records, and then it's got this mysterious fluid, and that's right. So like
suspected
foul-mouthed-
vodka from the fucking flask, and
Right.
the foul mouthed fucking wet bandit.
Home Alone.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, the wet bandit. The skis ball. He's the first to go because he drinks the vodka, and then he shares it with one of the other women on there, and they both get sick. They go to the infirmary, and then he starts turning into a dolphin person. And
It's exactly that episode of South Park.
Right, literally though. And so like yeah, like things, yeah, and then just craziness kind of
They
ensues.
start
Like,
to mutate.
find out
They
there's
become the thing for some reason.
creature.
They like melt
yeah,
together.
there's like a creature on board, and like whatever the substances they drink, it like feeds on organisms, and the organisms start coming together, and but then it's like funny because then they keep talking. The only time they're talking with like the suits up top is like this pre-recorded video because that's totally how it was filmed.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But anyways, they're like they're video conferencing with them, and they're like, when are you gonna let us up here? And they're like, oh, we're actually having some problems. Sorry, there's a hurricane, and so we can't help you. And so they tell them like it'll be another 12 hours. Then they goad them and they lead them on, and then it's gonna be another 48 hours before they can get them.
At that
Well, it
point,
turns
like
out
people are
they find
dying
the
left
files.
and right. And
Yeah, right, exactly. The whole
they're
the
like,
ship's
"Yo,
being,
get us the
taken
fuck
over.
out of here."
Yeah, and they're really like, hey, this is a distress call, and then they get a call back from up top, and they're like, oh, sorry, we're not supposed to go down there because you guys are all deceased. Like they pretty much try to wipe them from the record.
Well, the doctor sends the thing that basically.
Oh, that's right.
He sends out the escape pods, if you will. You know, the fucking balloon floaters, the lifeboats that would get them out of there. He sends that off, and then he sends a message like, I hope that you'll see my heroism for saving humanity, because he recognizes how dangerous and volatile this contagion is. And then so they're like, oh yeah, they got this thing the Russians had, and so they're like dead. So but it turns out they don't need it. They can just float to the surface anyway, because they get in the fight with the thing, and then they're like, it's imploding now because reasons. And so they have to fucking float to the surface, which they do with zero problem whatsoever. And it's broad daylight, and sharks show up just in case.
They're in 8 feet of water in the middle of the ocean.
I know, I saw that. He's just standing there.
They're standing
You can
up.
see him. He's standing.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. Oh man, I'm so sorry, everybody out there in the world. But anyways, it's kind of like there's a lot of ticking clocks. That's pretty much it. It's happily ever after for the two white people, and there's an infamous shot in there where it ends and Peter Weller's is walking away, and like the suit comes up and goes, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you guys are okay." And he goes,
I knew you'd get out of there.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, and he's like, "I'm fine now," and he like punches her, and it ends.
I was surprised it kept going. It just kept going, and I'm like, why? And then it was like, oh, it's for the punch out. Like, sure. Yeah,
Right.
sure. Like, she's a villain. She left him to die and whatever. But, and that's the movie. I don't know. The ending was, and then fucking the black dude from Ghostbusters, I forget his name. I'm terrible. But he makes it till the end, and then he just dies unceremoniously as they're trying to get rescued.
Yeah, it's Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson, that's right.
So, yeah, like,
He
it's
got
not
done
even like
brutal.
Dude, do you know what's wild? He like everybody, or at least I don't know. I saw.
I watched the video.
They were well, yeah, and then I read an interview too, because it was the director and Ernie Hudson were like back and forth, like, hey, this is just kind of like dumb. Like it really is like, why would you get him all the way here just to have him die? And then the director kept being like, no, he has to die because it's going to be shocking to the audience. But then it's pulled off so poorly. With no weight.
That's kind of this whole movie, honestly. It's like, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's necessarily. I mean, it is bad, but it's fun. But it's
agree.
literally. I wasn't even sure how he died. It looked like he just got like clubbed with a piece of rubbery latex foam.
Yeah, with
and then
flipper.
he just sank down in the water, and I'm like, he's just drowning. Save him! Like,
he got flippered, and then I don't know. The helicopter guys could only save 2 humans.
if he would have got like his fucking head ripped from if he would have got ripped in half, like down the middle or something, that that is shocking. Yes, like
right. Even if they just showed blood coming out of his mouth or something as he was floating down.
I know it wasn't anything.
something that was more.
Anyway,
like give me. Like it was it literally was like the whole time.
That's this whole movie, though, man.
No, dude, do you know how many times I went with this? I went, oh, they're gonna kill the black guy here because it's like 1989. Like that's just classic.
Yeah, sure.
It's like a trope. It's a trope by this point.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm like waiting for it, and then he gets to the surface, and I'm like, fuck, they actually did it. And then like that of fucking Dead Island, or no, what's that stupid? Oh my gosh, now I ruined it again. Oh crap, the lizard. Guys, God, this is half the podcast. We got to cut this out.
Never.
It's me forgetting a movie name.
that is true.
Articulates perfectly. I always do. I'm so bad.
It'll come to you when you're not. It'll come to you when you're not thinking.
But I know exactly what it is. It's the Super Troopers guys What the fuck is that?
Oh, Club Dread.
Club Dread. Oh my
Yeah.
God, give me a break.
That's what I'm here for,
Club
bud.
Dread.
I'm here for you.
I know you can remember. I know I've seen every movie in the world, but I can't remember half.
We
the
were
names.
talking about Club Dread the other day.
Well, and that's exactly in the style of Club Dread. The monster just comes back out of nowhere, just like jumps out of the water, and you're like,
Well,
how'd the monster get there again? Oh, I don't know.
This whole movie. So this is your first time watching it, right? Let's hear your first impressions, right? So like, what were you expecting? What'd you get?
I think this movie, it was a disservice to itself because the first 15 minutes, like the first I don't know. Honestly, even then, all to the inciting incident, I was actually like so fucking on board. I was so amped. It looked awesome. Like that huge elevator, like the sets felt real. I was like, holy shit, this is super huge and lived in.
Sometimes they felt cheap as fuck. Sometimes, when it's falling apart.
It's weird. No, exactly. I was just about to say it's like the weirdest. That's what I mean. Like the
elevator though definitely was the cool, and like outside was pretty
elevator's
cool
so cool. And like the suits and like the computers and everything they were using, they were really cool. I loved it because they had this like fictitious like big bubbly future that that we expected. Like that's in the 80s everyone thought like this is what it's gonna be. It's gonna be big. Like we made everything so big.
I love that's
I was like, the 80s were so big.
It's part of what sci-fi is so cool. We talked about this when we did Alien. I mean, go back and listen to that. But it's like any other like sci-fi movie that's like from the era. It's like their version of what the future is going to be like, and it's always like CRTs, and it's like, but they talk at you, so it's the future.
But I love it because it's the technology we have now, and we can't think that like in 100 years it'll be any different than this. Like it'll just be this, but a little bit faster. And so it's like
I hope we regress and get rid of cell phones and go back to our spaceships just have like giant monitors that people clack on.
Just like half the wall has to be like tubes that just are like running wires.
Just random vents of steam everywhere.
I loved like the beeps and the beeps and the boops and like the computers working and I love the like fake ass gibberish that like is coming through and they're like, oh no, make sure that the double clutch is down on the bid rod.
Dude, it's gonna take a minute. I was there. I was way on board too because I'm like, this is just ridiculous. They're just like trying to make it sound like they wrote it because that's what people do, but they didn't go any deeper to like setting anything up. That's this whole movie, dude. This whole movie is like, this is how a movie should be. And so they do this because that's what a trope is and a character does. But there's like no anything past that. Like it's ridiculous.
Which is funny. It's like Peter Weller's he is Rubicop. He like comes from a really fucking genius, well-grounded sci-fi film.
Attention to detail. Like I think that's the big thing. It's like there's no like James Cameron, at least with it, because the Abyss of comparisons and stuff. He fleshes out. He makes a movie every 10 years because he spent so long building the world. Right. This movie's like, this is what happens, and they're like, well, we don't want to actually learn underwater and like terminology.
No. No, this is the scraps. This is the leftover of a James Cameron set. This is like a Star Trek movie.
Yeah,
but that's what I love
about
it.
It's the charm, though, kind of.
It's super. It's like super fun, and it's actually a pretty stacked like cast for what this is.
Yeah,
and it like you can tell like the work that went into
everybody was trying, and I felt that, and which I appreciate that because it's like this movie was sort of a train wreck. Like it's like kind of objectively bad in a lot of places, but it's like it's never boring. It's not. I was always entertained. Like all the actors were like kind of. I mean, they did seem like they walked on the set after snorting a bunch of Quaaludes or something, and like Peter Weller's definitely walked in with like the smuts in the corner of his mouth and was like, "Hey, you guys get back to work."
Dude, 100%. There were some times where I'm like, this motherfucker is so dehydrated. He is. You know how high he was like 4 hours ago?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you know how many times I saw them? I'm like, he has like hypertension right now because his heart is just working as hard as it can.
Yeah, dude.
Like how red his face was.
Always. And dry. Like he literally is just like like sandpaper mouth. But and I'm like, bro, you're under the ocean, bro. Anyway.
I know, yeah. Well, dude, this movie really was like one of those like.
But it's
it
fun
felt
though.
Like
it was
it felt
fun.
like
I was having
first
fun.
take.
Yes,
of
it
course.
did. First taking everything, like first draft of the script, first idea that came into your head, first like it's like, all right, you want me to do another one? And they're like, nope, moving on, we're good.
Yeah, right.
First run on like anything. I don't know, but like.
But then, you know what makes me?
There's real effort. There's real effort there, which is crazy too. Like
right, and then I feel God, I'm so dude. Why can't I? What's going on today? I cannot remember a name to save my life.
You're dehydrated, probably. Drink your fucking water of life.
I'm drinking my water of life, dude. I've got it right here. I got my water of life. I'm drinking it, man. I don't know. Maybe like I'm on a new diet where I just eat
eggs,
meat and veggies. Yeah, well, eggs all the time, baby.
I know.
No, but anyways,
foul.
Oh my gosh. I can't find. I love. I fuck up some foul.
No, it's gross. Foul, like with a U.
What? Oh no, I thought you meant foul.
I know, yeah. Wordplay, baby. That's what we do here at the Coldest Cinema Knowledge podcast.
Thank you for staying. Thank you, whoever's listening. We love you.
You made it.
My gosh, heavens above. The guy who did this, all of the puppet work and all the work. I had it.
Yeah, I had it. I had it earlier. See, I leave all this stuff up to you because it's like you're the guy.
I know.
You're the facts.
I'm usually pretty good at this. I can't.
No, but he did like Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, he directed Pumpkinhead. Oh, that's how I should just find him. He directed Pumpkinhead. Stan Winston. My God, he is.
That's right.
Everybody. Stan Winston. He's a master, and he's like really cool. I love his work.
Yeah,
it's great. And he did all the mechanic work, all the puppet work. He did he directed the monster and the people around it. Like he was there for a lot of it. He really put his heart into it. And that is what that saved this movie for me, because everything else felt so hollow and cheap. And then to see like the puppet work, I was like, oh, okay, fuck yeah. Like
but the puppet was
it's legit.
It was cool. But it was like never like the puppet itself.
I know,
and like scenes of the puppet.
It never got utilized enough.
No, like
the
especially
thing, they
the
had
end,
the balls to show it.
Yeah, like the worst is because it's like the puppets, the monster when you're seeing it in quick glances, and like when DeJesus or whatever gets attacked by like the slug before he gets transformed, and then you see his face and he's like, "Kill me."
That's
terrifying.
the best.
Yeah.
That's the best scene too.
Yeah.
DeJesus, like his performance. I was like,
committed.
Man, that was first take, and he nailed it.
Yeah,
like that was one of those like
eager.
Like he was. I mean, he probably was. Sorry to blaspheme here, but he probably was like had some like vodka sweats or something, because he seemed he also seemed like
yeah. I don't know what was going on behind the set of this
everyone
movie.
Everyone seemed really sick. But no, I don't.
I know, dude. Peter Weller too. It's like.
He's gone, dude.
Because he is. I was like, I had to look it up because I was fucking terrible. I was like, did Peter Weller died in the 90s of like AIDS, right? And I looked it up because I honestly thought that.
Is he still alive?
He's still alive. And so I was like, oh yeah, this is right around the time he started getting sick and died. And then I was like, oh, never mind, he's still alive. Because in this movie, he looks like dying. He looks like he's gonna die soon.
Yeah.
Which kind of added to it, though. I don't know. It's all about. I really like Peter Weller, like surprisingly, because have you ever seen? He's like always kind of like a sci-fi guy, like Screamers. I've never seen Naked Lunch.
Well, I forget. Like every time Naked Lunch comes around, I'm like, oh my God. I love Naked Lunch.
That's on my list of shame because I've seen like every Lynch movie but that. Or Cronenberg. Cronenberg. The other David.
No, it is like, no, dude. I totally, literally, when you said Lynch, for like a split second in my brain, I was like, "Is it?" I was like, "No, it's not."
Well, they're close enough, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's like it's too weird body horror for Lynch. Anyway,
yeah.
Back this movie, that's the thing though. It's like it definitely felt like somebody watched a bunch of other movies and like they weren't like stealing it. It just definitely felt like it was in his brain. He's like, "Yeah, that movie was really cool," and so it's like. This movie really is like part Alien, part The Thing.
Right. In an interview, he says that. He said, I wanted to make movies that I liked come together. and it literally is like Alien and The Thing.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, fucking movies. They talk about this all the time. Like movies kind of take from each other all the time, but it's hard not to compare because it's so recent. When it's just like you see the like. Sometimes it's like creature, sometimes it's like scaly like a fish, sometimes like it's a weird amalgamation.
Yeah,
but like the weird like morphing together of the faces and stuff. It's like obviously you're thinking The Thing, and it's like the Contagion. There's even the scene. I was like kind of laughing because I was like, why did they do this? Honestly, I ask myself that question so often. Why did they do this?
Oh yeah,
they go to the blood. All the blood's taken.
The blood.
And I'm like, that's the scene. It was cool in The Thing, and so they're like, oh my god, he got to the blood. I'm like, what?
Well, it really is. It's just like anything that the organism is. It's like that. And then when they lure the organism, they like make a blood trail, but it's not even like.
Well, they don't really show it. They just show them giving blood. And then
disgust. Yeah, well, right.
That's kind of how it goes too, because like even when there's so many things in this movie where it's just like he's looking and he's like, I just saw the doc's face, and then it's a close up of the doc's face and it's terrifying, but then it's the shot of like what his angle and there's absolutely nothing. It does feel like they just like are like look off camera and then like we forgot to film that, you know?
Yeah. No, really though, yeah. And I feel like there's times where it like shows the shadow in the hallway and stuff, and I'm like, was that supposed to happen? Like, I feel like there were times where that happened, and I'm like, I don't know. Like kept being a little confused on their decision making.
It was interesting. I mean, yeah, dude, that's this whole movie. I was very much like, what? Why? But it was like, I found it like fundamentally just like perplexing because it's like I was having a good time. I wasn't like this sucks. Like it's not a good movie necessarily, but it's like kind of a blast in a way. I don't know. And like we said, we're kind of biased to this type of movie. It is like right up our alley. It's like
it's right
Alien and The Thing at the bottom of the ocean. It's like, yeah, bud.
Well, and like on watching this movie and then like looking into it, there's people who like it's like Deep Rising, Deep Star 6. Yeah. You know, the Abyss obviously, but the Abyss is the only one that like Abyss is the only film that actually had like positive reviews.
Well, that one's more like sci-fi, like hard sci-fi too. Like, it's like not that much. It's not horror.
In 1989, there was The Abyss, Leviathan, The Evil Below, and The Lords of the Deep.
Yeah.
And so it's just like those four popular. Came out in the same year.
We need a resurgence of that though.
Deep Star 6. Oh, even Deep Star 6 was 89. So it's like that's insane. Like there's so many of these underwater movies. It's like it's weird where it almost like I know that theaters and like studios they leak their projects and then other studios glom on and they'll try to make like a cash grab and they'll make it. And this movie was filmed in like a month. It was shot really fast. And
clearly,
it kind of shows. But
yeah.
But I think the full turnaround for this release was like 2.5 months. It was like crazy fast for how they shot this.
Yeah.
So, which is like a lot of films are like that too. But this just I don't know. This has so many like gaps in it. But then it's like it's weird. It also, I think it's like, I want to like shit on this constantly, and it's like easily, doable. You could just continue to like rip on everything about it. But then I'm like, it actually is coherent and moves along.
Oh,
the plot continues. And so like, I don't know. It's weird to be like.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, other than the boring, it's got like a little bit of a slow start, but it's like.
But that's my favorite part, honestly.
I agree. I like, because it's like, I like that setting and I like that setup, and it did feel cozy in like that it's like an 80s movie, but also familiar that it's like, oh, this is like the crew on Alien, like the dining room they're in even looks like the fucking dining room. I was like, they're gonna do the chestburster scene, and then they didn't, but then they did. And then they did, because I was like, oh, okay, they didn't do it with him, because I thought they were gonna do it with fucking what's his face, Lloyd, Sticky Bandits, but I thought they were gonna do it with him, and then he just dies off screen and nobody cares really until he's like, hey Doc. He's like, I forgot to tell you, he's dead now, and he's like, darn it. Should we tell the rest of everyone? I guess not. Everyone's reaction to something, except for Ernie Hudson, right? Mm-hmm. Except for him later, his reactions were finally like, are you realizing what we just went through? Like, because that makes sense. Like, I feel like that was a note to the script. Like, they were on set and they're like, hey, everyone's reaction to this is really just chill. Like, they're kind of just tame, and they're like, we need to, like, can you imagine that? You're throwing about a body and then it breaks out and it's all morphed together like tentacles. Like, people should be freaking out. And they're like, all right, yeah, we'll add that. So yeah, we'll just, you'll be freaking out and we'll go from there. And he's like, yeah, okay. And that's what, like, this movie, I don't know. What, I'm curious just while I'm thinking about it, so I don't forget to ask, what was your biggest, like, laugh, though? Like, unintentional laugh, right? Like, did you, because
Right.
I got a lot of good, but that's the thing, it's like, I don't know. It's not so bad it's good, because it's not that either. It's not like The Room or something.
No, right.
But it's like,
I think it's the audacity. I kept being like, they're just doing that. Like,
it's
they're
ballsy.
just gonna-
It's ballsy,
they're like,
and it's
yeah, like,
fun,
no,
kind of. Yeah.
I mean, there's a scene I remember. Like, I don't exactly remember what got them there, but they're like, oh no, we gotta go. I think it's when they lock the girl, or yeah, that's what it was. When the sick girl, the mullet girl, not the astronaut girl, the blonde, when she comes in, strawberry blonde girl. And she's like, oh, I'm not feeling very good. And then, like, she's really sick. And then she kills herself. I was just like, holy shit. Yeah. It's like, what? Like, it literally, like, and they're just like, she took her own life. Like, it's a good thing she did it. And then they put them all in the same body bag.
Yeah. And they're like, it's
I'm just
normal.
like, yeah. No, everybody's carrying the body bag without a single thought. Like, I don't know. It's just
the one guy's
one of
like,
those
this
things-
is a union violation.
There's no,
and that's
yeah,
it. Like,
yeah,
that's it.
Right. There's no like conversation to be like, hey, isn't this weird that there's like 3 bodies in this thing that like 3 people have died so fast,
And
like,
now it's moving. They must be alive.
well, yeah, right. And then that was done well. Like,
No, that was cool.
The
That
whole
was
like,
cool.
I feel like they're still alive in there, like that. Yeah, and so like that was cool, and like it ripping through and stuff. Like a lot of the surprise was great in this, but that I was like. The things happening so abruptly, I just kept being like, what the hell? But then there's a part when like I think they're going to see her in the bathroom and they're like, let's go. And like they both get up very like not there's no rush. There's no rush.
They're just trying to follow
like,
their blocking.
They know one guy is dead already mysteriously, like with these lesions, and it's like, yeah, it's like really
They're
bad.
like, let's
and
check
somebody
on
else
her
is
now.
sick. Yeah, and they're like, let's check on her now, and he like gets out of his chair. Dude, like I was like, what?
That's good. See,
But
it's like
what about you? Where'd you?
I got 2 big ones, and the one was just like the doctor.
tentacle?
The doctor's typing. No, the tentacle was fun, but
I loved him. Yeah.
the doctor's typing, and it's his reverse shot. But you're supposed to be looking at what he's typing because that's like right before he sends his note. But I was so distracted because the reflection was so glaringly clear I could barely read the words. But in the reflection, he's literally, if you're watching the YouTube, he's literally like one finger, he's like doing this, and then the sound effect is like, and then the voiceover from the robot every time is just some guy off camera. It sounds like it's just like countdown to explosion in 4 minutes. It's literally like the sound box
it's very
from
Dark Star. It's very Dark Star.
I was
yeah.
gonna say MASH too. Like it's just like
sure, yeah.
But yeah, Dark Star is probably a better thing. But the other one too is that I was literally like, why are they putting a ticking clock on this? Like when it's like an implode, I'm like, they're already like trapped on there.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to say
after
the amount
they
of ticking
kill
clocks on this, I don't even. I wanted to start writing them down. I think there's like 6 ticking clocks through this whole thing.
Because it does feel like during writing they're like, that's screenwriting 101, baby. I'm gonna have 10 ticking clocks. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, right. It's like basically it has to be like and then this happened.
No, that's totally involved with the other big one that got me probably the hardest is when they get to the surface, you think they've escaped, and then it's literally like, oh fuck, sharks! Like there's just sharks for like a minute, and then they leave, and then the monster comes, and it's just
that's
like,
it. No, I love it. Yeah, it's
like,
just
what?
sharks. And it's
for like 2 seconds, I'm like,
guarantee
why?
you-
We already have a huge threat. We don't need to add another threat. It's like,
No.
and then
You are right, because that's like another ticking clock essentially. That's like they're like, all right, and now another threat. It's like I feel like they wanted to be like it's an onslaught for the audience. Like I guarantee you, the screenwriters were just like high on coke too. They just,
100%.
yeah, like they're like throw some sharks at them, and it's like how are we gonna shoot this? And it's like it's cool. My uncle Jimmy at his apartment
He's got
complex in
sharks.
Van Nuys, he's got it in a pool. So you just shoot it in the pool. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out later in post.
Yeah.
Is what it would be now. Yeah, man, I don't know, but like, I was just
The sharks are
cracking
good.
my
I
ass.
guarantee you, Cosmatos had just had footage of sharks. And he's like, I gotta figure out how to use this.
That's why I was laughing so bad. Is because
got it burned into my pocket.
They're literally like sharks, like out of nowhere, and they're just immediately at the same time that they're screaming, it cuts to like 2 cardboard fins, like, and then it cuts to stock footage of sharks.
Yeah,
I was howling, man. I don't know. I'm like, why sharks now? What?
And I loved how you could see them. I guarantee you, when they were getting scuba certified, probably not even then. Those are like real. Those are pool sharks. Like they were in a swimming pool, and the shark was bumping against them.
Yeah,
Like I was just like, this is amazing. Like it kept that. I think it's just that the audacity.
It's the balls.
Of this movie.
It is. It's like you got to respect sort of like. It is just like all gas, no brakes in every aspect, in the production, in this like you said, first draft, like we're just go. It from the very center of the screenwriting. I was actually surprised because I did not know, other than the setting, I did not know what this movie was about at all. As far as like the plot,
I didn't know it was a creature feature necessarily.
I did,
I
guess. But
I guess with Leviathan, I assumed it was a monster.
I've seen like a thing of the monster. But like, not really. Like, I don't know. It was like distorted, but it's like Leviathan is like a giant biblical fucking creature, like a kraken.
Yeah.
Like I figured it would be some giant beast.
I thought they would get attacked. I thought
from a creature, from a creature already under the water that would maybe get in.
From a mythical creature, like you said, but like I
or
thought
like
it was
some
going to be like grounded in
fucking
reality.
right, like underwater or something. But it was weird when they found the ship. I was like, oh, here we go. And then it was like named Leviathan. I was like, huh, okay. So it's like
I liked
ship.
that. Actually,
it was
I was like, okay,
unexpected. And then it was. Yeah. I mean, they did jump to a lot of conclusions of it being like a government genetic experiment, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they got there.
Like,
got
it
there
was,
quick.
it was like they probably did that so that they can work underwater. Think about it. Dolphin people, and it's like, yep, you're right. You're right. Goddamn right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get someone from from the kitchen. You want something? And then he gets killed by a slug.
But God, that's so. Oh my god! I forgot. That part. Holy shit! That part. If we're gonna still like this will just keep happening because I'll keep coming up with things that are like the audacity. When they've been on this mining ship for forever. They're whatever, it's like they're very comfortable, especially the miners. But when he's making popcorn and he's like, I'm looking for butter for the popcorn, and then he's opening cover. He literally was directed because
just
Cosmatos
look
was
around.
in there. Just like he had his big like fat cigar and he's chewing it, and his Cosmatos was like, all right, now your objective here, you gotta find the butter. Now the butter's hiding somewhere. You gotta find the butter.
You're typing now.
That's
the whole movie.
Oh, that's sexy. That's sexy. All right, now you're looking for the butter. Like, all right, now open that cupboard.
Look around.
Look underneath this. Look under these caps. Yeah, look around for the butter. You don't know where it is. I just like everything about it was like it's just like they were like, all right, you guys have fun.
That does
and you
feel every scene feels like that. Like just start talking about fucking underwater. Here's some underwater terms. Just throw them out. Like Peter Weller seemed genuinely confused and like it was great acting. But it's just so many. The typing on the keyboard is literally like the stare off in the space and act this way. Like the direction is fucking crazy. Like it's like,
which is wild because Tombstone, I feel like was directed well. Like I was like, I don't know. I don't remember having any.
Everyone got off the coke. When the 90s rolled around, they're like, this is a Western now. Like we're not making a fucking.
It honestly could have been that where like there was more heavily involvement from the studio. Like this feels like a really quick run and gun. They had like 2 sets and that was it, and then they just shot this movie. Cause that's definitely 100% the astronaut girl when she goes and listens to her music and she's like, I deal with my emotions this way, like running and stuff. She is, there are 2 sections of like
the hallway or whatever.
length of hallway. Yeah. Like, yeah. Two of those intersections. And that's it. Like that. It's definitely shot back and forth reset. Like, the different set dressings. Cause like how she runs through it. And I'm like, oh, you just got through like this giant sea lab so
I know.
fast.
She's
like, yeah.
hauling.
Like,
It's so funny. It's like when the whole ship is imploding, because that set was the most brutal too, because it was like it literally felt like they just shook it and everything started falling off of it. But like they're running and like suddenly the like floor goes out for some reason. It's just like they're just like there it is. The whole thing's gonna implode because the oxygen supply got disrupted, so now there's an implode countdown. That's not how implosions work, but
I know, I love that. Yeah,
but literally, it's like no, it's literally the countdown, and it's just a guy being like implosion in 2 minutes. Like,
yeah, you guys should hurry. It's probably about 35 seconds now.
It's an implosion,
yeah. And like when he's like trying to go, and like the grate falls in front of the monster, and then the monster's like banging on it, where like the monster's just like ripped through other things, and it's like I don't know. Yeah, the inconsistencies is.
I feel like if you've never, but that's the thing that's kind of beautiful about it, because it's like I feel like if you're listening to this podcast right now and you've never seen this movie, you would think we're describing like this really cheap trauma style B movie, but you can tell they set out to try and make something genuine.
And I think that's what happens is like they're reusing sets that were hundreds of $1 million. You know, like these like people who spent like 20 million to build this set, and then they're like, oh, it's just a backlot set now. It's just sitting there. We can freshen it up for $100,000. Let's do it. You know, like let's get in there. And so it's like it's really smart filmmaking like that. That's
honestly,
I think that's what I respect about it. It's like it's resourceful, I guess, not necessarily smart.
Resourceful is a great way to put it, actually.
And it's resourceful and it's super fucking effective. Like I would watch this movie again in a heartbeat. I loved it.
I probably would watch it.
And it like it's so like it's one of those things where I'm like, God, it's like really distasteful. Like it opens up with like, but it's weird because it doesn't have as much sexism or racism as I expected.
Yeah,
so maybe
from that character, I thought it was going to get
lot.
way worse, though. I did think it was going to
get
way worse.
Yeah, me too. But it was misogynistic to a capital M. You know, it was like classic misogyny where like the guys are like, you're so funny, and the girls are like, you're so funny. Like
he's like, he's over there just your boobs. Like, bada bing. What a good pair you have.
Yeah, he's like nice pair. Oh, hey Bubba, those are some nice knockers. And like, and then like, you know, and then they're like, oh, you're funny. It's like tit for tat because she's like, thought you were talking about my boobs, and he's like, oh, I wouldn't think about that, would I?
When
and
fucking,
like, I don't know, yeah, but like, I don't know. It really, I kind of was like, I was actually like really bracing myself because it's like, okay, what are they gonna do? But then I was like, oh,
I know the best is that black guy gets out of the shower and he's like, my skin. The only bad problem I see with skin around here is all the white people.
The white people, dude. I loved that line.
I did too, but it was like weirdly written, and so like the syntax like didn't make sense. Really, I got the joke, but it was just like, huh?
There was no. Yeah, there was no reaction to it either way. Like it was like there was no. It was just but like it was good and it was funny, and I feel like it was almost kind of like a improv. Yeah. But like, and then the classic trope, it's like, I don't know, man. They killed him, and I was so bummed. I was so excited to be like, hey, look, this movie like didn't kill the black guy, and then
I was literally like, oh, yeah, why he's dead now? Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, really thought exactly. At that point, I was like,
I thought it was gonna roll credits there as they're flying away on the helicopter, but then it's like they get back, and I'm like, why are they still going? And then I'm like, oh, and then the chick's here, and he punches her out. I'm like, yeah, why? Of course, like, why not? All gas, why man. It's all gas.
Yeah, really, it was. Yeah, really, that's a good way. Yeah, like him punching her out too. It's like I'm just like, oh, this is I totally see who this is made for. It's made like I don't know.
I'm hoping I can make it clear.
On his couch with his hand down his pants, like he's like caricature,
which was me when I was watching this for sure, just resting there. You know how it goes.
So, yeah.
But like, so my Letterboxd, I gave this movie 2 stars because it is a 2-star, 1.5 star quality technically, but I got 4 stars of enjoyment. So I don't know how to rate that because it's like,
right.
I had a lot of fun and I really enjoyed this movie, but it is really bad. But it's just like I had a lot of fun laughing at like parts that were bad, that were baffling. As like I feel like someone that didn't know about movies as much might be like, what? And like I don't know, like they wouldn't understand like why it was bad a lot of the times. But so much of it is just like kind of nonsensical. But I still enjoyed, like you said, the plot made sense, and like even though they jumped to conclusions and they did stupid things to move the plot forward, like that is like an ultimate writing problem. Of like, you know, the Union guy that's like, I'm not going anywhere without a chainsaw, and then he goes up and he sees a wire busted out and he sets the chainsaw down and he goes to the wires and gets attacked, and then literally the shot is him like his hand on it and he's like, no. It's like getting pulled away, and I'm like, you can grab that, you're close enough.
I know, right? Yeah.
But like, I don't know, it was still enjoyable more. That's what I'm saying. It's like not like The Room either, because it's like kind of enjoyable not just to laugh at, even though that is like a big part of it for me. Like what I got enjoyment out of it is to be like laughing at it and also being like, man, this is just like balls to the wall. But like, I don't know, the setting is cool. Like I didn't even know until I watched that Good Bad Flicks video you posted up, which I love that guy. Shout out to his YouTube. I mean, that's not good. I like his channel, but I didn't even know watching it. I didn't even think about it. That was dry for wet that they filmed. Like they filmed it,
dude.
That wasn't actually underwater, because it looked so good. I just didn't even question it because there were so many other crazy things going on.
But I literally the second it opened, I went, yes, that's so beautiful.
It looks good.
I love when it's shot like that, and it's funny because it's one of those things where I'm like, I haven't seen it for so long, especially in like a high budget movie like this, because I mean it's like a 50-year-old from like 89. It's like a 50-year-old thing. Like it's an old school film technique that's been around forever,
right?
But in other movies, it's like when it's done like that, it's like very obvious. And so in this, I was like, oh, are they I was like, oh, this is dry for wet. But then they would, but then like, so that scene, and then later they did like scenes when they were inside the ship. When the second time they get lost, I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, now I really am tricked.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't tell when they were inside the ship if that was a submerged ship and they were walking through it.
That's what I was wondering too.
That looked like real water.
Yeah.
And like there was a fish that swam at, that jumps at him and stuff. And so like for the 3D release, but like I like couldn't tell in that moment. I'm like, God, if that's dry for wet, that's insane. But like the beginning, it's like, it looks beautiful. Like,
it looks really good.
It looks so
the only
good.
thing in the beginning that really gave it away, other than like this is 1989, and unless you have an insane budget, filming underwater is fucking impossible.
Oh right, yeah.
To make look good.
I mean, them moving. There's no water moving.
Well, the whole set. But I was like, did they build this? Because the way it was lit and everything was great, and like how they got the like particle effects, the asbestos to float in the air or whatever,
100%
to make it look like it was just like like debris, was great. The only thing that gave it away was like they were like, we need to sell it with these like floaty balloons, and I'm like, those are the ones that definitely look like they're just on wires or something. But yeah, like, and so I was like, oh, okay, there's some trickery. But I didn't even really think about it because I was too distracted by all the other fucking bonkers shit going on in the movie.
Snakes, dude.
I'm like, it was good. But yeah, like I literally was like, oh, they filmed. It must have been hard to film this submerged ship. Like, and then I was like, and then when I saw that it was all that, and basically they like fucking overcranked the camera and everything to like give it like a heavier weight. And I'm like, like if they would have put that much effort into the rest of the movie, it's be like one of the greatest movies of all time.
Well, no, I think that the thing that this movie struggles with is it's rushed, and like and I think it just like there was no one there, like no co-writer or something to get in and be like, hey, let's like cut out like 2 ticking clocks and just focus on the doctor's research, and making the doctor more of a villain, because like what he did, it's like there's no one was like, I like didn't realize that he like when he like sends the things off, I was like, oh, okay, that's like heavy, that's gonna be heavy stakes. But then they were like, it's fine, we'll just get out of here, it's cool. Well, like,
yeah,
I don't know, everyone was
excited because I was like, oh, this is gonna take like, he's gonna become like this antagonist that's like. Right. Is an interesting dilemma that he's like going against. I kept
thinking of like Sunshine or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's going against who we're rooting for, but like his reasons totally make sense. Like he's gonna kill I thought for sure, because when he brings the Union guy over, he's like, sit down at the table. Like we know as the audience that he's already been like, we're all gonna die down here, and so I thought for sure he was just gonna like fucking slit his throat with a scalpel or something, but then his hand turns into a fucking mouth and like bites him, and then suddenly he's just like, they're like, the doctor's gone, and you're like, wait, what? Like people are just saying shit that's happening off camera, and then the doctor just like stumbles down into the basement, is all sweaty, and then you see him again for like 2 seconds as like a second monster, and even Peter Weller is even like, so wait, there's two of them now? And then it's like he's just as confused because is there two of them? Or is is there one?
There's not even exposition in this, like dumping. It's just everyone is saying exposition in their dialogue.
It's just
like
happening.
this is definitely a first draft.
Well, and the
for
doctor,
sure.
the doctor just kind of like disappeared. Like he wasn't even on but that's what I'm saying. His face wasn't even on the monster at the end. Like I thought he was going to kind of become like the ultimate monster after that point.
I know.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
I know, and it's so I'm bummed because the creature's so cool, but it has the fact that it becomes that it looks like an anglerfish now, like and it does, and it becomes more of like a bipedal, like has opposable arms and hands, and like it becomes like a guy in a suit. Like I don't know, like
this is one of those.
We don't get a weird transition.
Yeah, this is one of those movies that like would be cool to see a remake where it's like a cool idea that was kind of that was poorly executed, but it's just like, and like, you know, you can add a lot more original stuff instead of just being the Thing, and you could like do an own thing with the monster, but like I feel like we haven't, other than Underwater, which came out like a few years ago, right? We haven't had a good underwater, like, I guess it's like they blew their load in 1989 specifically, and they're like, all right, we never have to make another movie like that again, you know?
Yeah.
Which is too bad because, like we were talking earlier, The Deep, and have you played Soma? You played Soma, right?
Yeah.
And Soma, I was thinking about those this whole time while watching it also because I'm like, man, those would be good. But The Deep is getting getting a TV adaptation.
Is it getting a TV adaptation? That's amazing.
That's
The Deep has like the ambrosia and everything about it. Is
the
like,
ambrosia's cool.
It is like that's what sucks is like this movie Leviathan, it just didn't have pacing like that. Yeah. This is like when we talk about pacing, this is what we mean. Like this had momentum, and I was never necessarily bored.
Yeah,
I was confused and slightly aroused, but I was never like bored. And like I just definitely was like freaking. Yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm disappointed. Like thinking about it now and being able to like get it off my chest and talk about it, I would recommend it. And I think this would be an awesome double feature to watch like The Abyss first and then watch, because The Abyss is like, it's smart and heady, and it actually like
have a couple drinks during The Abyss and then watch Leviathan drunk, you know?
Right, exactly. Because it's like you watch The Abyss first to be like, oh shit, like this is a solid movie. And it's got some fun, theological and like philosophical, you know, lessons. And then like you get into Leviathan and you're like, oh hell yeah, baby! Like this is like I got some fish carnage.
That's the one. It's like you're not smoking. This is like a huff and glue movie. This is an air duster movie where it's like you're not like classy snorting cocaine and watching Leviathan. You're fucking huffing cheap air duster and watching Leviathan.
Yeah, no, really, like Leviathan. It's got like a look and an air to it, and it's just I
had a lot of fun, but like I do think that this could be an interesting one to show in like film school. Like honestly, like
right.
I feel like there's a lot of teaching moments and like good and bad things that kind of work together in harmony in a weird way.
It would definitely make a great adaptation of somebody like cleaning it up. Like this would be a good exercise to clean this script up, because it's like it's good. It's just like way too much. It's like there's too many ideas in it.
It is. But it's a lot of cocaine. Anyway, air dust or whatever. Give me a money minute. Yeah, I got the. I'll pull up the Reddit. You get a money minute. We're professionals.
It did pretty poorly, but it was 21 million to shoot and to make, and it only made 19 million.
That's the competition. You know, I think in any other year probably would have done better, but.
And that's the thing. And I actually, you say competition, but I almost feel like it helped it, because people were like, I'm gonna see The Abyss or this one, you know, and they're like, okay, let's just go see. They're like, oh, I've heard about this underwater movie, you know. And
I
they
know,
like, went and
accidentally saw Leviathan.
Yeah, Leviathan. Like I can totally see that.
Yeah, I can see that too, actually.
Oh, dude, nobody answered me in the comments. If you know, everybody out in podcast land, if you know if this movie got a full like worldwide distribution, I would love to know, because the only info I could find was a US and Canada release, and then it released in Greece, where he's from. Like it was like one of his. He like had it, like it had a small run. So I'm like, I wonder.
Well,
if it was just
they just announced today. You saw I posted that on the Reddit. They just announced
right
that they're doing a restoration, and they did like an interview with Peter Weller or whatever. And so I hope this episode gets a bump or something. That'd be cool. But it's just so random that it's just like, I didn't think this was like a cult classic or anything necessarily. It's got like a 2.5 on Letterboxd or something, and so it's like kind of surprising to like see that it's like, no, this is coming back.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I'm like,
and I wonder if
weird,
it'll have
but cool. I
so
guess
the original release, it didn't have any special features. The original DVD release,
but the special features are a fucking dying breed anyway, which sucks. So yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
I don't want a Criterion. I don't want a Criterion Leviathan. I want a Briterion or something, like a knockoff version of it.
Arrow does like.
Oh yeah,
they kind of do
something like that.
You know, they get.
But I would love like a good Blu-ray with like a bunch of special features of like cut scenes and like behind the scenes, like BTS would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be dope. Dude, I just want to say real quick though, The Abyss, it had a $70 million budget.
Ooh.
So it had like 3 times the budget, you know, that this movie did. And so like I actually am really impressed with with Leviathan now, even more so.
Yeah. I mean, The Abyss, like a lot of the budget too in The Abyss. It's been a long time since I watched The Abyss. I actually really want to watch it again. But it's and I'm pissed because it's like we can't watch it now for this month because it's too close to this movie, and it's already been on a poll and lost. But it was on last week's poll. But it's like all the CG in The Abyss too. You know what I mean? I mean, there's not like a ton, but like the CG water and everything.
Yeah, the CG and the fact that it like legitimately was shot. How it's shot, The Abyss is like
that's
ridiculous.
the thing. That's why it's a good double feature, is because it's like, say what you will about James Cameron, that dude's got attention to detail. So I guarantee you, like, look at how obsessed with the ocean he is. I guarantee you, he like, they're not throwing around fake nautical words in The Abyss. Like they're like, I guarantee you, he's trying to be as factual as possible, and is like, this is the real fucking science of the ocean and like being at these depths. Like he's not I don't know.
Yeah, no, it had like I'm pretty sure it had like 2 scientists on it at like all times to make sure things went right. Like it definitely,
Guarantee. I almost read your Reddit. I was surprised that you. Thanks for commenting.
Yeah, man. Everybody should come onto Reddit.
Everyone should. So Turbo13 says, "Wowzers! This actually wasn't that bad, in my coherent opinion." Because I called this comment. I talked to him the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, thanks a lot. I heard the shout out in the podcast last week where you called my comment surprisingly coherent." so
nice,
now he's rubbing it.
Yeah, you always got. I love when you comment, man.
Well, I was just telling him. I said, "Oh, it's just I like all the emojis you put." And he's like, "That's how I communicate emotion." I'm like, "Yeah, that's true."
Yeah, dude.
So he says the underwater effect looked crazy for 1989, unless I just haven't seen enough underwater movies of that era. The mystery behind the monster, I think, was awesome and had me intrigued. The best scene is the whole movie, though, is when he says, "Say, oh, motherfucker," then drops a dime on a pass into the monster's mouth, and it blows up. Solid 2.9.
Solid 2.9, yeah.
I know, that quote, they're like, what is the most badass quote that we can throw in here, you know? Anyway.
I know, right, yeah.
And then, I almost read yours again. Clones of People 2 says, I've never heard of this, and I was expecting a B movie, and I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. The mixture of body horror and monster movie was nice, and the design of the creature felt creative, and the setting is used well. Not the overall design, that was inconsistent and messy. I liked how the creature was different every time we saw it. That is true. Every time we saw it, it was like a different creature.
It was a different creature.
Was there two?
I know. You're right. Yeah.
Anyway, so he goes on to say, I also liked how the slow build that introduced us to the characters and the world. The film leans heavily into Alien and The Thing, perhaps far too much that it feels like a ripoff of those, even taking on Jaws at the end too. Yeah, whatever. The plot is formulaic and the ending is poor. Overall, I did enjoy watching it despite its flaws. I would recommend it to fans of the genre. And I would agree.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for bringing that up, though. The creature does change
every time. It's good.
I didn't even
I'm like, what is this going to be? But it did. It kept me on my toes. I'm like, what? I'm like, so what is it?
I love when Ernie Hudson goes in to talk to him, and he's like, "Hey, man, yo, I just wanted to let you know that we're like something like we're all gonna go on the deck, and we hope you get better." And he's like, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, you're sleeping."
No,
right?
that was.
Don't want to bother you.
That was the best because we, as the audience, we know he's dead, and we at this point, I didn't know what kind of movie
he was
going to
find out then.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, does he not notice this motherfucker's dead? Like he's a corpse. Like you should know he's dead. But when he started moving, I was like, oh shit! Like that's cool because it's like that's kind of a good spooky, cool, scary moment because we know he's dead. He doesn't know he's dead. And now he's moving, and so we, the audience, like, oh fuck, like that was effective, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time it's like I'm like, oh, is it this weird contagious disease? And then I'm like, oh, it's like gill people. Holy shit, they're gonna turn into crazy fish people. And then it's like, oh wait, they're the thing now. And then oh wait, there's some weird like fucking SpongeBob monster. Like I don't even know, man. Like
no, do you know how frustrated I was? And I'm like, I'm just gonna go and say, I guarantee that they were gonna do this. The executive that was on the TV, there was a shot where like her eyes looked weird, and they like pushed in on her, and her ears were like twitching, and I thought I swear to God,
like
I had to
fucking gill people.
I rewinded it because I was like, oh fuck, were there supposed to be gills? Because I was too focused on her piercing blue eyes.
I bet they were. I bet you they're like, all right, that is too much.
There.
That is too much. Yeah. We have to cut something.
Like the conspiracy goes to the top.
That's the line, dude.
I know. Yeah, no, probably. Yeah, no, he probably. This is what the writers were looking at each other, blurry-eyed, 3 a.m, just like high on drugs, and he looks at him and he goes, "That's hack, dude. Don't do that."
You're right. You're right. Yeah. Let's keep it subtle.
yeah. People will figure that out too fast. We got to keep going. But no, I really like because like I was like, man, she's up. Like she seems evil. And then she wasn't even that evil, really. Like she was evil. Like
well, I wish
greedy,
it would have went that route more of like the whole like corporate, like you're expendable and everything.
Yeah, like I know. I wish that. I mean, she kind of does, but she just does them dirty. Like she's like, well, this is business, bye, and that was it. Like it's nothing like there was no like monologue from her. No one was like a true villain in this. So it's like it was kind of funny that like the monster becomes like the true villain. So that I think that's what gives it like its kind of campy quality.
Yeah.
And so yeah. Anyways,
I just have to mention also every time they cut a piece of the tentacle off, it felt like old school like Italian films or something where it would just be like. There would be an enemy movement. The chainsaw there would be like, okay, put it next to the tentacle, action. And then he just pulls it away, and the tentacle's like, bloop. Like it just cuts every time. It's just like, that was already detached. That chainsaw didn't go anywhere near that.
Do you know how long, like I was waiting for like those chainsaws were fucking badass, but I could tell that the second that chainsaw touched something, it would have broke or like it was.
Dude, 100%.
But I was
it's
waiting
like a
for
plastic bike chain.
I do that, like literally though. It's like it looked like a toy, like a Fisher Price toy. But I was waiting for them to like hit a tentacle and be like, and like blood and gut and visceral go everywhere.
Speaking of, dude, I know we need to wrap this up, but like, what was that flamethrower, man? What was that like 3-pronged, like made from an old antenna flamethrower?
No, dude. Do you know what that was? I guarantee you, there was that was probably one of the most janky. I bet you somebody almost died because of one of those propane. Like I bet they had a full gas grill propane tank inside of them.
Literally,
they were huge.
Yeah, they
were so big, dude.
Oh my god, I can't. And then like 1 minute it's falling apart, the next minute it's ripping through like 3-inch steel doors. Anyway, so go check out Leviathan. It's pretty fun.
It's worth it.
It's got a remaster coming through. Like I don't know if it's I think a 4K remaster or whatever. Check it out when that comes through. That'd be cool. Moving on, we're buttoning it up. So continuing with the ocean theme. Next week we're watching a movie I've never even fucking heard of until like the other day. And it was suggested by Clones of People 2, who's also, I guess, never heard of it. but it looks really good. So we're watching the Legend of 1900 with Tim Roth.
That one?
That one.
Hey,
Yeah.
sick. Yeah, I love Tim Roth.
Yeah, that's literally, I was like, oh, this is pretty highly rated. And I'm like, oh, it's directed by the guy who did Cinema Paradiso. And then, oh, it's got Tim Roth. I'm in. Yeah, I'm in, man. Let's check it out. I know nothing about it.
It kind of sounds like a Shining style, but maybe it's a little different.
I think it's probably more drama, but like, we'll see. For all we know, the whole movie is just like actually just takes place on land. Just I know it's on a boat, but
I know, right?
We'll see. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out because I know absolutely nothing about it, and I'm going to keep it that way until I watch it next week. Watch it later in the week. So
hell yeah.
So check that out, Legend of 1900. Also, go to our Reddit and vote for. Let us know what underwater movie you want to watch. I'll throw it on a poll, and we'll pick it. And then you can choose and all that good shit too.
We have little questionnaires that come out, and so you can rate the movie on different categories, and then give it like a 1-word review.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Cute.
It's it's like
I just like having fun with movies. You know what I mean? Like I like watching movies and having some fun.
And do you like to give your opinion? I'm sure you do. I fucking do.
Everyone does. Everyone never shuts the fuck up about it. I'm like, I know. I kind of don't care about your opinion, but about movies, not you, Jordan. You, the listener.
I want the listener's opinion.
Give me your opinion. That's the only one I want.
Come to our Reddit. If you go to freaking, we have a YouTube, baby. I know how you Gen Zs love your YouTubes. You get out there.
all right.
You comment on our YouTube, and then if you go into your parents' wallet and you get out some money and you get out their credit card and you go to patreon.com/coldlistenerknowledge and you type their credit card in at one of our tiers,
they won't even notice because it's so cheap. It costs nothing a month. The highest tier is like fucking $10 a month or something.
Yeah.
And you get all kinds of good shit. They're not even going to notice. That's less than your fucking Netflix and everything. So go get your mommy's purse.
We have bonus content. We got stickers. We got love.
We did a podcast like 6 months ago for Oppenheimer, which just won Best Picture at the Oscars. So you're probably you need to know our opinion on it. And you can only get that primo info from our Patreon. So, I know you won't. That'd be great. All right.
No, yeah, there you go. I dare you.
I dare you. You fucking piece of shit. All right, let's get out.
Oh, we love you. We love you.
No, I'm trying to reverse psychology. They don't want to be loved.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Bye.
Yeah, bye.